Okay, here goes. This post and this video is something that's been a very long time coming. I've been wanting to share this and write this and start this process of publishing my story about my divorce for a very long time, at least 3 years now. But it's really taken me 4 years to process it all. So I posted it in my blog today, and I'm going to read to you what I posted. And forgive me for my stumbling and my looking and not looking you right in the eye as I tell this story. But I invite you, and I'm asking you, and I'm begging you all to join me on this journey that I'm starting in January of sharing the pieces and the learnings and the lessons and the growth and the demons and the angels and all the parts of this process of letting go and finding myself through a major upheaval and major changes that happened in my life. It was 4 years ago this week that I left my marriage and became homeless for about a year, and my entire world just upheavaled and changed. And all the parts of myself fell apart, and I became an ugly, bubbling, hot mess. And many of you watched me through that, and now it's kind of crystallizing and forming into something beautiful. So this is the first vlog, just sort of introducing what I'll be doing in the next coming year, as I write throughout the year in my blog. A shattered heart. 4 years ago this week, I experienced the greatest pain of letting go. The man I had dedicated my life to unconditionally pierced his talons through my chest, like the scene in Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom. He pulled that part of his heart that he had given me, he pulled it out of my chest, and he threw it at my feet where it shattered into tiny pieces. The shards showed me all the shadows of our relationship that I had shunned from my eyes. I tiptoed across the floor, and tiny tidbits tore into my feet, tenderizing every nerve of my body. A couple weeks later, having left him, my home, and the world as I knew it, I was homeless. I looked out the window of an airplane, and I read the words, we've all seen them in block letters across the wing. Do not walk outside this area. I jumped head first off the wing of the plane into a new paradigm. I was no longer strapped in the comfort zone in the middle seat between indecision and indignation, but the free fall was terrifying and exhilarating. I held my breath for the first several hundred feet. When I finally took in air, I found that I could take in breath and life with fuller lungs. The fresh air that I was breathing in, it healed every scar of the wound deep. And my world was no longer and would never again be the place where sticky tray tables tucked neatly away. No, for 4 years thereafter, I lived in a messy, ugly, terrible writer's world. I broke the rules. I jumped off the lip of the cauldron to swim in the stew of the most sinister sides of myself, and I messed up. A lot. I scribbled all over the pages of my days and weeks in my life, and I made a mess. On occasion, I ripped it up, I start over on a clean sheet of paper. Sometimes after just one word or phrase, I'd start over. As all writers and artists and creators do at some point or another, I recorded those pages of my process, and I embraced the little tiny bits of crazy inside myself. I shook hands with my demons, and somehow I learned to dance with them. Over these last 4 years, many of you have high-fived my little bit of crazy. You've smiled at what I thought were my ugliest demons, and you reminded me that the raw, vulnerable pieces of life are what makes us human. You showed me that the stitched fabrics of my velveteen rabbit wounds, and now I understand why so many spiritual masters say that they walked the line of madness in order to reach the state of bliss. So I've dabbled over these last 4 years in making my voice vocal, but keeping that which was most raw packed away in my pockets, locked away in my journals, and pushed in the back files of my computer laptop. but now is the time to pull my own heart out of my chest. I want to squeeze its juice and share that nectar with you. In 2017, each month of my blog, I'll focus on a different theme of the process of learning and healing through this challenge and upheaval of my life. I'll post them on my blog and I'll read them to you live here on Facebook, and I'll introduce you to the angels I met and the lessons I learned. In January, the theme I will write and share with you and teach you is about the process of letting go, how it is to jump off the wing of the plane, and show you what I did to muster the courage to do that and how I kept myself level once I did fall and in the free fall. What is to come throughout these next weeks and months and year is worth every splash and dive and jump and dance and tumble with crazy that I had endured. I hope you'll join me there. So please, if this post touches you, if the reading of my blog has captured you, if my podcasts inspire you, 2017 is the year. I am starting this process and I want to share more and deeper and fuller with you. So please share, like this post, share it with your friends. If you know you have a little bit of crazy and you've seen you high-five it with yourself and others, or you're dancing with your demons, I invite you, please subscribe to my blog, watch these videos, and join my community. You're not alone in letting go or your need to let go. There's a party of people out here who have or are jumping off that wing. And in the world that you discover that once you jump off, letting go is beautiful. So I'll start January 2nd, and I invite you to join me every morning here live, starting on January 2nd. In the meantime, go to my website, terrylee.com, subscribe to my blog, subscribe to my podcasts, and share all these posts that you enjoy. Thank you.